Hi friends! I wanted to let you know of an update that I have done for our emotions bulletin board set, which if you're familiar with it, it comes with a series of cards that reference different emotions in Spanish, right? So tengo hambre, tengo calor, tengo frío, estoy bien, and so on and so forth. But one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a long time and just have not, part of the illustrative process, the creative process for me, is to have the concept in my mind, the idea in my mind, but then I have to be able to visualize what that's going to look like in terms of illustrating, right? Those two things have to kind of come together for me. And I wanted to create a non-binary character. And I've been working on this for a really long time, and I just could not visualize an animal that for me felt right. I went through a number of prototypes and I just was like, it's not what I want. So yesterday, thank goodness, it finally came to me that I wanted to use a flamingo. And I love flamingos, but I chose the flamingo, and why it just felt right to me is that the color of a flamingo is pink. It is not representative of the gender of any flamingo, right? They're all pink. And so, it's not to say that only, some flamingos are pink, as is the case with some animals where there is a difference in gender, right? So I loved that. And I also love the fact that with flamingos, of course, there can't be a color association with gender, right? Because they're all pink. And so it's one of those animals that I really love to kind of push that envelope of pink is for girls, right? Because it's not. So enter Sami. Sami is a flamingo, an Andean, un flamenco andino. And I chose Sami as the name because it doesn't end in an O or an A. And as a connection to another language I speak, Russian, Sam or Sama in Russian has to do with oneself, right? Doing it yourself, on your own. And for me, it's kind of a nod to being oneself. So sometimes, it takes multiple languages to connect in your head what you want for your representation. So enter these new cards, estoy cansada and estoy enferme, to have the non-binary representation in our classroom, which I just think is so important. And I've been really racking my brain without, this, it just has to come to me. Sometimes it takes a long time. So I will say that this is in our emotions bulletin board set, which you can find the link in the comments if you don't have it. If you do, you can just go to your purchases page and download the update. Sami will be integrated into other resources that are already existing. And obviously it is my goal to create resources where Sami is the central character. I do want to just add that I know it is a question out there. How do you introduce non-binary pronouns? How do you introduce non-binary endings? Because I think that many of us, we know and we recognize that they need to be represented in our classrooms, that everyone needs to feel that they belong. I will confess that I've gone through multiple iterations trying to find wording that really feels like it well represents what I want to say to my students, and normalize, right, this conversation and this representation for our friends, which I think, again, is just so important. So currently, and still learning, right, still trying to figure out the best way. But the idea essentially of saying that, those pronouns like he and she do not represent all of us. And for our friends for whom those are not a representation, Spanish has this ending. La E, right? Cansada, enferme. To be sure that they too can express themselves. It's very direct. It's very concise. But to me, it normalizes our friends have language for them too. Everybody deserves language for them. I hope that's been helpful. I, definitely appreciate feedback. Again, I am learning as well, but I am also trying to be sure that I am representing our friends in our classroom. That sense of belonging is critical in our classrooms. So again, the link is in the comments for you, and I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate your encouragement. Take care.